Welcome to the DNVR Broncos podcast. Fellas, Victory Monday coming off a 44-24 beatdown over the Cowboys. How are we doing, Benny?
Doing well, man. It's Monday. Happy Monday. Victory Monday.
Yep.
I just been thinking, I was actually laughing all day. Yes, not all day yesterday, but after the show, just on the way home, just thinking about RK just kept saying BTA, BTA.
He really did.
I'm feeling really good. So happy Monday.
I'm feeling great. I mean, 6-2 where the Broncos are, 4-0 in Sean-tober. That's officially in the rearview mirror. And guys, next time the Broncos play is November, and November means that playoff push is beginning to happen right now. And the Broncos are in the best position they've been in a decade.
Yes, happy BTA day. It's a great day.
BTA
great
Monday?
Yeah, BTA Monday. It's even better than Victory Monday, actually. The sun always shines on Victory Monday in Denver. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it's very true.
Wow.
I think it's been over a month since we've had a cloudy day, and the Broncos are 5-0 in the past 5 games. The hottest team in the NFL, tied with the New England Patriots. And guys, let's dive right in to some news and notes from the game last night to get us fully caught up. So last night, I told you guys that from what I'm hearing, Pat Surtain is going to be out a couple of weeks. We have not got official word on that. Still waiting for more information, more testing to come out. I still believe that is going to be the truth. That would mean that he's out until the Chiefs game. Then you have the bye week after, so we'll see how the Broncos handle that. We'll wait for more information on that. Sean Payton, we had a conference call with him about an hour ago, and he declined to comment on Pat, which isn't a surprise at all. There was another injury that popped up in the game. We talked about this yesterday. Marvin Mims in the concussion protocol, but some new information we found out today, guys. It should have never happened because Marvin Mims got hurt with 4 minutes and 44 seconds left on a kickoff return, and the Broncos were up, 44-17 at that point right there. Marvin should have never been in the game, and Sean Payton admitted that today because he said there was some communication errors with Darren Rizzi and the special teams. He meant to send Tyler Bidet in to take Marvin Mims out, and instead they sent Tyler Bidet in and took R.J. Harvey out, and on that kick return, that's when Marvin Mims got the concussion. So that could be brutal for the Broncos.
Is that the one who he took the really bad hit on, or was that the reverse? Or did he have like a...
Yeah, that was earlier in the game.
Yeah, he got a helmet-to-helmet hit on a reverse.
That's when he got concussed.
What was I saying during that kickoff return, Benny?
You're like, just get out of bounds, get out of bounds.
Be careful.
Be careful, be careful. You know, I was like, oh, RK's the coach. You know, he definitely wanted Marvin Mims. He didn't want him to return the ball at all. That's why we were pointing at each other and laughing. I was like, oh, you want a coach, or you're a coach. You know, you have the coach's mindset right now. Like, hey, please just get out of bounds. Can we get everybody... Take your shoes off right now. Take all the starters out. We're done with this.
Well, and Benny, that's what you know better than anyone. But if you leave players in the game, they're not going to play 50%. They're going to give it 100%. But good film on tape. That's why you, as a coach, have to pull them out of the game. And
for sure,
that's what the Broncos wanted to do. Somehow it didn't happen.
That was before the drop, right? Like a couple plays before he had the. No, was that after? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Well, sort of. I kind of wanted to be able to explain that away.
Well, I think that he probably actually got the concussion on the helmet-to-helmet hit on the sideline earlier in the game.
Yep. Concussion symptoms just showed up later.
Yeah.
And I've been concussed before and completely forgotten a quarter of football.
Wow,
so
that's scary.
Yeah.
So we hope Marvin's going to be okay. He's obviously going through the concussion protocol. We have no idea if he's going to be available on Sunday. He could be, but that's just something we're going to have to follow as the week goes on. Those are the only 2 injury updates we have right now. Another update that people wanted. Why the hell was Sean Payton not wearing throwback?
Why is that a question in a press conference?
Never even noticed.
Oh, he had just normal blue hoodie on.
Yep. Well, a lot of people were freaking out over it. I agree with you, though. Why are we asking that to Sean? Did you hear the answer?
Yeah, I did.
What do you think
made
of
no
it?
sense.
What do you say?
So the reason everyone else is wearing throwback gear on the sideline, Sean was not, and he said it has nothing to do with throwbacks. He says he's the biggest fan of the throwback uniforms and gear. He said that the throwback shirts that they were wearing did not match the same color as the pants that they were wearing. And apparently Sean is Mr. Fashionista, so he did not want to wear different navies. And so he said that the Broncos before the next time, need to get matching colors there, or go orange on the bottom or orange on the top, so it's not two different navies.
I thought he was saying socks. That's the quote that I read on Twitter. No, he said pants.
Yeah, it was the pants, the navy pants.
First of all, the royal blue does go with navy, like as a pant. It would just be like wearing it with jeans.
Sean has no swag though. Like he's much of like.
I think Sean has all the swag.
He's got. Then if you have to match in the navies, then you have no swag.
Oh, really? Wouldn't that be all the swag?
No, that's how you can get out of bed. You could just, I'm just gonna put on gray on gray. Or I'm gonna put on navy blue on navy blue. He couldn't in his mind see the throwbacks going with the navy pants. I don't understand how you can't see that.
Exactly. That's why every day, black, white, and then some sort of like neutral up here. Like, because I don't have swag. It's just so easy.
Well, I wasn't calling you out.
No, but it's the same concept. The same thing Sean does. Just match, and you're done.
Yeah, just leave it out of there.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it's the same as like wearing one of those, like a throwback Bronco shirt with just blue jeans.
Goes together.
Yes.
It goes really well together.
Sean says he's not going to do that. So that's why he wasn't wearing them. And then the final thing to wrap up yesterday, I tried to do my best yesterday on the postgame show to tell you just how different and good the vibe was in the locker room. And we really saw it with the camaraderie that's happening here. And this is different. Benny, you probably noticed the camaraderie with that Super Bowl 50 team. And pretty much every guy that I talked to, including you, from that Super Bowl 50 team, talks about just how everyone was in it together. And it wasn't me versus him. It wasn't offense versus defense. Everyone was in it together. And that's a big thing that I'm getting from this locker room right now. 7-8 weeks into the season. You have, after the game, you have Alex Singleton wearing a Pat Surtain shirt. You have Riley Moss wearing a Nik Bonitto shirt. You have these guys that are just so happy to be teammates with each other, so happy for the other people's success in there. And then there was a really cool clip from J.K. Dobbins last night. And I just want to play that. It's the only clip we're going to play today because, man, I just think that this shows how special this team is. And let's just hear from J.K. really quick.
I'm proving myself right that I made the right decision coming here. And I appreciate everybody here. Like, it has been a dream because I love Coach Sean Payton. He's a great person. And the offensive line is amazing. And then, like, the defense is amazing. And then the ownership is amazing. So maybe I was born to be a Bronco. It just took a little time to get here, you know. Had to get over the mountains. You know.
Oh, man, maybe I was born to be a Bronco. It's all coming into place.
I'm so happy that JK is a Bronco, first and foremost. Second of all, I'm going to say about T-7 years until JK Dobbins is living in Denver on a Denver Broncos podcast. Like so many great former Broncos have. I mean, it's wild how many people come to this team, whether it's for a long time or for a short time, end up falling in love with the city, falling in love with the fan base, wanting to stay around here. And I just love JK's energy. What a great person to have in a locker room. He's so positive, so upbeat. He's a dog on the field. He loves to talk a little. Like, he has all of the makings of someone who could be a fan favorite for a long time.
100% does. And you wonder if it's time to start talking extension with JK to keep him around. Benny saying pause.
Nope.
We'll pause that conversation for just a little bit.
Can I double click on what
Absolutely.
RK said? I think that's super important what RK said. I'd love to see JK here long term and let the rest of the season play out and things like that. And
you were just saying pause on an extension, but you want to see him here long term?
Yeah. Let it play out. We're going to let it play out.
Guy.
But, I mean, he's obviously playing his way into that. I want to give credit to the ownership group, George Payton, and also Sean Payton. You talk about a turnaround. You talk about it in business, sports teams. It takes a couple of years. But if you look back at the free agency class, obviously Greenlaw's only been on the field once. But look at the free agent signings and how they fit in to the culture. Evan Ingram, culture fit. JK, culture fit. Greenlaw, culture fit. Hufanga, culture fit. That's how you build a championship team. You think about the 2015 team. I don't know much about the 97, 98 teams, but you think about culture and you think about free agency, adding a Talib, a TJ Ward, a Emmanuel Sanders. You have to hit on those guys not only on the field, but character-wise. So we have to give the Broncos infrastructure a lot of credit in terms of how they've added pieces over time. And then obviously the rookies having an incredible day yesterday. Those are the things that make you a dynasty over time. Those are the things that you'll look back on in the next couple of years when the Broncos make these long and deep playoff runs as turning moments in the offseason. So I think that's super important. And they did this all with all that dead cap from Russell Wilson still.
And they still have the dead cap, which is incredible. Even more incredible what they're doing now. And Benny, it's not by accident. Sean Payton and George Payton talked about it before free agency started, about how it's about getting the right guys in. After, they pointed to all of the guys' character, and it's really coming together right now. All right, I want to ask you if you guys have any other hangover takes from this game that you want to get out before we talk about, are the 6-2 Broncos a Super Bowl caliber team, a legitimate one? And we're going to do that after I give a shout out to our friends over at Arena Club, where I just found out about Arena Club recently. And I'll tell you what, it is so freaking cool. If you want to take your collections and trading cards to the next level, Arena Club is going to do that. So what Arena Club is, you can buy your cards online. You can see them right away, exactly what's in your starter pack right away. And then you can have the cards sent straight to you if you want. So these are not just virtual cards. These are real cards. They're sent straight to you, or you can sell them right away, so you don't have to wait for them to be sent to you. See what they are, then send them back. If you want, you can sell them right away. You can trade them in, whatever you want to do. So it's exactly how cards should be in 2025, where they're in person and then they're also virtual. And you can get 20% off your Arena Club pack by going to arenaclub.com/DNVR and use that code DNVR to get 20% off your first slab pack by going to arenaclub.com/DNVR and use that code DNVR.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Ent Credit Union. They're the best. We drove right past it. We got my nice little Ent Credit Union card right here.
It's not the right orientation to hold it.
Isn't it? Oh, right. It's on the back. You can see all the numbers. Oh, it shouldn't show the numbers probably. But the Ent Credit Union is incredible. Drive past the mural every day. Yesterday, we drove into the bar. Let's see. Who was I with? Oh, I was with Lexi. We're coming to the bar to meet my parents for lunch, or my mom for lunch. And it was the first time she'd driven past it because it's on that little road there. But Ent Credit Union, Pat Surtain mural, incredible. Everything about Ent Credit Union is incredible because you get a cool card like this one with Bo Nix on it if you open a Broncos checking account. Bunch of other perks, like if you swipe it 15 times, you get another chance to win home game tickets for the Broncos. 10% off food and gear on game days and Empower Field. No surprise fees. So many different perks. They're the official banking partner of the Denver Broncos. And if you're ready to bank like a Bronco, head over to ent.com/DNVR. It's ent.com/DNVR to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Membership required. Account requires associate Ent Broncos debit card.
And shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Deposit $10, place a $5 bet, and you're going to get $200 in bonus bets in your account. And shout out to everyone that's tuning in with us. With the Broncos doing good, our family here has grown bigger. Just so you know what we do and who we are. We do this 5 days a week, every single week, not just of the season, of the entire year. Mondays, we go at 11 a.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, we're at noon, then all day on game day, which of course this coming week. Game starts at 11 a.m., so don't sleep in. Set your alarms. We're going to be going live before the game at around 10:30 or so. Then we're going to be with you all game long, post-game. And guys, in the next 11 days, we've got 2 Broncos games because the Broncos flip around to a Thursday night game at home against the Raiders. Wearing the throwbacks again, where the Broncos are undefeated in those throwbacks. And before we take a look moving forward, guys, any hangover takes? I know you guys talked for like 10 hours yesterday, so you might have got all your takes out. But Benny, any takes that you've been able to sleep on overnight?
No hangover takes. I'm just not. Hank and I were talking about this before the show started. I don't necessarily know how to feel about the offensive performance. 44 points, incredible. But if you actually watch the film, it looked like 7-on-7 out there. No pass rush at all. I mean, Bo was chilling all
Bo
day.
got touched for the first time by a Cowboys player in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. You still have to go out there and execute, and these are NFL players, and they get paid on the other side too. But RK just brought up that point, and if you look at the all-22, there's nothing going on. It's really 7-on-7. So it's just receivers versus DBs. Offensive line is chilling.
I mean, the only way the Broncos were going to lose that game was if the Broncos just shot themselves in the foot over and over and over. And we saw it. Both threw a pick on the first drive, and it's like, okay, well, this is the only way the Cowboys can succeed. And then once the Broncos just didn't do that to the extreme of turning the ball over, literally throwing it to the Cowboys, there was no slowing them down because the Cowboys, Benny, to your point, the Cowboys are awful, like so bad. Now, saying that, the Broncos didn't just like score 25 points and scrape by a bad team. They did what you have to do against bad teams, what good teams do against bad teams, and that's blow the doors off them. 44 points, the most points scored in the Sean Payton era. The 27 points that the Broncos scored in the first half, that's the most points scored at home since Peyton Manning's 2013 record-breaking season.
Who was that against? Baltimore?
I don't remember.
I think it might have been the Eagles.
Don't remember. Yeah, maybe.
I do have, first of all, it is true, but was the most points anyone has scored on the Cowboys this year. Like you said, they did what they had to do. It is pretty crazy on film how clean Bo is, but hopefully that's just like a momentum starter. And by the way, the first time that the Cowboys did hit Bo Nix, it was his dime up the left side to Courtland Sutton.
Man, and he was smashed on that one too.
But even Tony Romo during the game is like, this is kind of just like routes on air out here for Bo Nix. It's like, yeah, it does kind of look like that. I did have a take on my rewatch though that I think is important. Now, with how good the Broncos offense was against the Cowboys defense, maybe this wouldn't have mattered in the end. But after Bo's pick, Cowboys get all the way down to I think they're at the 3-yard line. They hand it off to Javonte Williams, who looks like he's going to get in. Jonah Ellis makes a touchdown-saving tackle. It's kind of like a gang tackle, but Jonah Ellis was credited with it. The very next play was the kind of crosser to George Pickens that they threw that Pat broke up. That's when Pat got the first injury. But I think that play is a massive, almost turning point. It's crazy to say that early in the first quarter, but a turning point in the game. They stop him there. They get a 5-yard penalty for a false start on the next play. They end up settling for a field goal, and I feel like that just set the tone for the Broncos defense that day. They're like, okay, bend, don't break. Something we talked about a lot during the week. Like, you're not going to be able to stop them from moving the ball between the 20s, although the Broncos did as good of a job as anyone has at that. But they were able to hold up for field goal there, and instead of going down 7-0 after a really bad pick, you're down 3-0. Broncos go on the next drive. They score. They're back in control of the game rather than kind of like chasing to try and catch up, where I think it could have potentially ended up in a shootout.
Yeah. It's something that we've seen from the Broncos in the past, but from the other side. You think back to like the game against the Ravens that got out of hand last year. There are a couple of those moments in the first half where you're like, oh, you could have just gotten points for halftime. You didn't have to give up that touchdown before halftime. All those little turning points. Same thing with the Bills in the playoff games. And when you're the inferior team, those are the moments where it's like, oh, we needed to get that one in order to keep this close. And they needed to bat, 800 on those to be able to make it a game. And Broncos didn't let them do it.
And for me, just a little hangover take after sleeping on it. One thing that's gone under the radar, understandably so, with RJ Harvey having 3 touchdowns, with Troy Franklin having 2 touchdowns, with the rookies, another rookie, Pat Bryant stepping up for a touchdown, Bo Nix going for 4 touchdowns. The run game is the identity of this team. It is going to be what makes this team have a deep playoff run. And boy, we saw it yesterday. J.K. Dobbins had a quiet 117-yard game. A quiet 117-yard game on the ground, which is incredible. Guys, he jumped Javonte Williams by 1 yard on the season for the 3rd most rushing yards. Fitting for that to happen when the Broncos are playing Javonte. 3rd most rushing yards in the NFL. Just think about that. And he's done that quietly, yet he's one of the best running backs in the NFL. And then, by the way, in your run game, you also do have RJ Harvey, who can explode for a 40-yard touchdown. And one of the reasons why maybe it really all came together yesterday was Quinn Miners. He played incredible. That touchdown run, he was incredible. I asked him about the touchdown run after, and guys, he actually said that he's been quietly dealing with something for the past couple of weeks that has not allowed him to be 100%. That kind of makes sense because we saw him not look good against the Jets, not just with the safety that he gave up, but didn't look good all game. Last week, maybe not
Chargers.
The best either, Chargers. And so he admitted that he's been dealing with something, finally feeling good. And we're seeing that in this offensive line clearly takes that next step when Quinn is the all-pro that he is. And so it's good to know that why he wasn't playing as good as he could. And now he's back to that. And man, it changes the Broncos.
Yeah. I think my hangover takeaway. So I've been thinking a lot about the trade deadline because tomorrow is a week to the trade deadline. There's a bunch of cool stuff, so stay tuned for that. There was a false positive in there somewhere. And I don't know what it was, whether it was RJ Harvey, whether it was Troy Franklin, whether it was Pat Bryant, whether it was Palcho.
It's not 13.
It's not 13. Okay, it's not 13. But there are so many good things. And we knew like the Broncos had some flaws. And you're at a point in the year where you have to decide like, okay, we get to pick one thing that we're going to fortify for the rest of the year. And we just saw all of these guys put up potentially their best performances of the year. Jahdae Barron, potential best performance of the year. We know that because you're playing the Cowboys, one of those probably is just like, okay, you played the Cowboys, so you look a little better. So I've just been trying to figure out like what is the one thing that we can't take? Like Troy Franklin, do we now say like, you don't need another receiver? See RJ Harvey, it's like, okay, we have somebody in case JK goes down, as he often does. Like there's so many of those. You have to go through and figure out which one. Do you not need the left guard line because Palcho? Is that the one?
I think it's the offensive line would be the only false positive, because I think if you give Bo time, he can deliver the football on time and on target with the best quarterbacks in the league. Troy Franklin has been pretty much consistent all year. Obviously, he has his 1 or 2 drops or 1 drop a game. Mm-hmm. You've seen Pat Bryant catch the ball consistently. Evan Courtland's been the most consistent and best player on the offense all year. I'm not saying the offensive line is bad, but I would say if there's one false positive, it's the fact that Bo didn't get touched until the fourth quarter. That would be the false positive. But if he has time to throw, he's been accurate and he can make plays and his receivers can make plays. So I would say just the pure offensive line, pure domination of pushing the Cowboys back every play would be the false positive.
Henry, you mentioned that the Broncos might have to pick one thing to solidify.
Yep.
Benny might disagree with that, and we'll get into that in the very final segment of this. Want to continue this conversation and get to the headline of this.
2 really quick hangover takes. 1, Sean Payton took the ball. The Broncos won the toss, and they took the ball. Right. I didn't notice that when we were watching on the watch-along set, but I love that because they were about to go down and score if it weren't for that pick. The first 3 plays were first downs, I think.
And Sean said that was because every other time he's deferred. And Sean today said that was to send a message to the offense, send a message to the team about getting a hot start and jumping on them.
Yep, love that. And then the other one. I've never looked at this as a battle before, but now I am. The Broncos won the penalty battle this week, which I think is why they were allowed to blow out the Cowboys.
And they still weren't great when it came to penalties. I mean, still, I believe 8 penalties.
I think it was 7 for 42 yards.
7 for 42. The yards were okay.
Yep.
But 7, you still want to see that number come down a little bit right there. But it is progress for the Broncos right there. What did the Cowboys have? Because, man, it felt like the refs were just so against the Broncos again.
It was
Dallas was 9 for 80 and Broncos 7 for 42.
Doubled us up.
Yeah, exactly on the yards. So they won that battle. Okay, guys, before we move on, we need to answer the question in the headline. After watching the Broncos yesterday over the first 8 weeks of the season, is this a legitimate Super Bowl competing team, Benny?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, it's gonna be popular.
Yes. I think, who were in the Super Bowl the last couple years has been the Chiefs, the Eagles. I forgot who the Chiefs played the year before the Eagles. But regardless.
49ers.
So they've been competing with a couple of those teams. They've been very competitive with the Chiefs last year, beat the Eagles this year. So I am going to say, yes, this is a Super Bowl potential caliber team. There's still some things to me that I need to feel more comfortable where I know you can go on a run regardless if it's home playoff games or away playoff games. Got to be more consistent on offense. Your special teams, to me, I played special teams. That's where things have to dramatically improve as well. Marvin Mims had the big explosive kick return yesterday, but are you going to block a kick? You think about Jordan Norwood having the longest punt return in Super Bowl history at one point in time. You think about Omar Bolden against the Pittsburgh Steelers and the big punt return there. Where are Cody Latimer was huge in terms of special teams. You think about Kansas City and their Super Bowl wins, always big play on special teams and throughout. So I want to see the special teams get better, and I want to see the offense to be more consistent. But yes, I mean, when you have the number one offense come in here and then you make Dak Prescott look pedestrian, defense, that was one of the things we talked about in the pregame. Like, is the defense going to show up? Because, Dak was an MVP candidate offensively up until yesterday.
Yeah.
And great job the depth of the defense as well. Pat Surtain going out of the game, Greenlaw not playing, and then still having an incredible performance, I think is huge.
Yeah, the defense is there, guys. So like you mentioned, Dak Prescott entering yesterday in the past 4 games, he had 13 touchdowns, no interceptions. Yesterday, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. They completely ruined an MVP candidacy for him.
Yeah, and that's why the Broncos are Super Bowl contenders. That defense is that good, and that's probably the most potent offensive attack they're going to face this year. Now, that doesn't mean that it's always going to be easy because
Whoa.
someone's...
All year?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Who's more potent than that?
I mean,
What are
like,
you thinking?
Kansas City.
Well, Kansas City's a different ballgame. It's not because of their potency. It's just because of their quarterback.
he's a potent quarterback.
He is a potent quarterback, but the point is that he doesn't have a fraction of the weapons that Dak has. So the job for the secondary and the job for the pass, even the pass rush, I think, we'll have more chances to get sacks against Pat Mahomes than they did against Dak Prescott, and they were still able to get, what, 2? Mm-hmm. 2 on Dak. So from a pure potency standpoint, the way I interpret it,
I agree with you.
Yeah, they're not going to face a tougher attack than that. If you can do it against them, then you can do it against anyone. Now, there are going to be teams who come up with great game plans and, probably make life a little more difficult on you than the Cowboys did, who I didn't think attacked what they could with the Broncos very well. So that, first and foremost, means the Broncos defense, in my opinion, is going to keep you in every game, has the ability to keep you in every game. And the offense showed what they can be. Now, again, the sample from that offense is not the best one, considering how bad the Cowboys are. But you can run the football. Bo Nix continues to get better. And so, I think the Broncos are a contender. That doesn't mean that, that should be the expectation. Mm-hmm. But the expectation, especially now halfway through the season or almost halfway through the season, should be that the Broncos can beat anyone that they stand on the field with. Because of that, they're a Super Bowl contender.
Henry, do you agree with these two?
I mean, to me, there's 2 ways to look at it. The first is you start the year and everybody's alive. Everybody's gunning for the Super Bowl. You see the Titans go off to an 0-2 start, and you're like, yeah, they're not good enough. Like, there's no benefit of the doubt. They're out. Meanwhile, you could see like the Ravens start 1-5, whatever it was, and say, well, they are the Ravens. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They're still alive. You go that way. Obviously, the Broncos are not one of the third of the NFL, half the NFL. At this point in the year, you said, hey, they're not going to do it that year. And in that way, yeah, they're alive for the Super Bowl. The other way is to go the reverse and say nobody is a contender at the start of the year, but we're going to watch and start adding people to that board. You don't have to see too much from the Chiefs to say like they're a contender. If we're going that way, I'm not adding the Broncos to the board yet, but I don't.
Wow.
But I mean, I don't think I'd add anybody from the AFC to that board yet. I know that like the Colts are playing well, but I still just can't look at the Colts and say I see you winning the Super Bowl. Same thing, like the Patriots are playing well.
I 1,000% agree with you.
Yeah, the Patriots are right there. It's like I can't look at the Patriots and say like I can see Drake May winning a Super Bowl this year. And I think I go through that entire AFC and say nobody's really proven to be a contender at this point.
I mean, the Chiefs definitely have.
There also
Okay.
has
go.
to be Super Bowl contenders in an entire conference.
Well, by the end of the year, hopefully there'll be some that kind of separate.
I think in November. I think we're about to find out in this next month. In November, you're about to find out because then you're going to start seeing teams. You're going to start seeing start to see teams really pull away.
Yeah, right. And I'd also add, each of the past 2 years, 3 of the 4 teams that made the conference championship have been 6-2 or better after week 8. And so, I mean, this is the situation you're in. 75% of the teams, 6 of the 8 over the past 2 years have been 6-2 or better. And in the AFC, that leaves the Broncos, the Patriots, and the Colts. And so in that way, you look at it and say, hey, it's obviously right there for them. And you could throw eye tests and all that stuff out the window in some ways and say it's all about just who gets the top couple seeds and gets to play at home because that's a massive advantage. So
Really, really quick. For me, and the reason why the Broncos would be added to that board is because of the way that the evidence has piled up. Like in a vacuum, all of these games, you could write off and just say, okay, well, that could happen any week. But you go all the way back to the Colts game. You say, it's kind of a fluky loss. But they're going to have to do some stuff to prove that it was a fluky loss.
Right.
Then you go on the road to the Eagles, and you come back and win that football game. In a vacuum, you say, like, well, it's kind of weird. Like, they weren't in it until the fourth quarter. They went out and won. Mm-hmm. Okay, now you stack that with the with the Colts game, you're like, okay, maybe that was a fluky loss. Then you continue to do it. You go and you figure out a way to beat the Jets in London. Okay, well, in a vacuum, that's kind of an ugly game, but you add it to the other stuff. Giants,
another way to win.
Come back to win. You're adding all of this evidence together, and then yesterday you play a complete football game and blow out a team who's 3-3-1 coming in, and a lot of people were starting to kind of get excited about. You add all of that evidence together, you take away the vacuum, and to me, you say, okay, the Broncos are very, very legit.
I think this is just so straightforward. I think this is 100% the Broncos are a Super Bowl contender right now. Can things change? Of course it can. Guys, the Broncos are 6-2. Their 2 losses have come on the road to 2 of the other best teams in the AFC. One who has the best record in the entire NFL, the Colts, 7-1. Broncos were an interesting call away from just straight up winning that game. And the other came against the 5-3 Chargers on the road, both games on the road. But it's not like the Broncos have to play a home game in the playoffs to have any chance, because against those 2 great teams, they lost by a last-second field goal. You mentioned the Eagles being one of those teams that's like a good litmus test of where you are. Broncos win in to Philly and beat them. So yeah, I definitely think they are right now. And you mentioned it, Benny. Do the Broncos look like a complete product? Absolutely not.
Patriots,
No way.
Patriots, Broncos, Denver home game
AFC Championship.
would feed family.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That would be
Those
awesome.
Patriots look nasty right now.
Bo
They
against Drake. We're getting the next rivalry.
Bo versus Drake, and then Vrabel versus Peyton.
Yeah.
I
think-
those are 2 culture shifting coaches who you could plug them into any organization and they'll turn it around in a couple years.
Man, it's so true. And if that happens and you want tickets to the game, you got to check out our friends over at Game Time, and you got to use the code DNVR to get $20 off your first purchase. Broncos traveling on the road this week. I know there's a lot of Broncos fans in Texas. If you're going to be at that game, Game Time is the best app to use when you are looking for tickets. It's got the best user interface. Thank you.
User experience.
It's got the best prices. They've got the Game Time guarantee, so you don't have to worry about the prices. We all use it here, and so if you need tickets to a concert, a Broncos game, a Nuggets game, an Avs game, they've got it all over at Game Time. And again, use that code DNVR when you sign up to get $20 off. Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Use that code DNVR for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create an account. Use that code DNVR. Tap ticket. Go download the Game Time app today.
And
Mac Weldon.
shout out, you're the Mac Weldon guy.
I'm the Mac Weldon guy. That is true.
Nobody loves Mac Weldon like Hank.
It is true. I mean, Mac Weldon just has the best stuff, especially here where the summer basically starts in late April, maybe early May. You start to get some like hot weather. And then meanwhile, we're still out here and is it going to be 70 again today?
68, I think.
68, so not quite. It'll probably be back there
Dang, it's a
soon.
nice day.
Yeah.
Poor 68,
Victory
right?
Monday.
Yeah, it's true.
69 gets all the attention. 67 gets all the attention. 68 just stuck right there. I think
It's moved.
up to 70.
High of
67. That's a shame. But still, there will be more hot days. And when there are hot days, Mac Weldon is awesome because they've got their Cool Max technology. And for people like Benny, for example, who dresses nice and has to like impress business people, you can look all classic and impress those people while also having the Cool Max technology that they don't even realize is working behind the scenes to keep you cool. All sorts of good stuff over there. It's comfortable. They've got everything.
Found out that you were so comfortable.
They would, because they're all like wearing their like starched up whatever they wear. I think starch is a thing. But yeah, Mac Weldon's the best. To get breathable clothes that you can feel comfortable in all summer, go to macweldon.com. Get 20% off your first order of $125 or more with promo code DNVR. That's MACKWELDON.com. Promo code DNVR.
And shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. And shout out to everyone tuning in with us. Hit us with a thumbs up. That helps us a lot. If you want to help us even more, become a member of the Supporters Club. You get the cool emoji by your name. You get awesome exclusive emojis for you. Maybe we even get a 6'7" emoji going on in there.
There's no
and
need.
Honor, it's a Broncos sack dance right now. Plus, all the kids love it. I'm sure they want to hit a 6'7".
We
in the
pander to the
Supporters Club.
educated adults.
Oh, no.
And
Pander
well,
to the
exactly.
kids.
That helps right there. And Ryan, we had to get to that break, but I know you had something that you wanted to say before.
Yeah, I have one last thing I want to say on this topic, which is if the Broncos beat the Chiefs, that's when it really goes over the top. Right now, I would say they're like a contender. Now, you've got a game against the Texans this weekend, and you get the Raiders at home on Thursday Night Football, and then you go play the Chiefs. if for somehow you find a way to win all 3 of those games, well, then you go from contender to favorite, in my opinion.
I 100%
regardless
agree.
of what the Colts do. So that's, because I think that's going to be the last kind of test for Broncos fans to like fully buy in after the way that, things have been with the Chiefs for a while now. Not that we haven't beat them, but that if you go out there and you win that football game, I think that's when it'll completely shift the narrative to like the Broncos are ready right now.
I think the number 1 seed in the AFC is coming down to Christmas. Broncos, Chiefs in Arrowhead. Obviously, it'll help a lot if you're able to get this game in a couple of weeks against them, but it's going to come down to that game. It's going to be an awesome way to spend Christmas.
And again, if you're able to hold serve for these next 2 weeks, then you go into that game, you have a real chance to have a massive opportunity where you could take out the importance of that Christmas game.
Potentially,
You have a 2-game lead on them.
And let's move on to the Inside Scoop, where Benny is going to dive into the film. And, of course, the Inside Scoop is powered by Ent Credit Union. Bake like a Bronco. Go to ent.com/DNVR. That's ent.com/DNVR and sign up for Broncos checking today. Ent Credit Union is insured by NCUA. Membership required. Annual % yield. Account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card. Benny, take us in.
Well, I heard that Sean said that they had a great week of practice. I think that's one of the most important things is to get off to a fast start, you have to practice well. Wednesdays and Thursdays are your hardest days in the NFL. Wednesdays, you're putting in your first and second down game plan, and you're putting in a little bit of third down. Thursdays, you're putting in third down, high red area, and then Fridays, primarily red zone, and then your specialty plays, your 2-point plays that Sean does really well. But for me, to what it looked like and what we saw yesterday against the Cowboys, it looked like a great week of practice, and you could tell by the way Bo threw the ball, the timing, how on target he was as a quarterback. And in this first play right here, you have the mesh concept where Courtland's coming over the top, Evans coming underneath, and then you have Troy and Franklin on the over the ball right here. So, typical standard play in the NFL. But you love that these 2 guys right here are running shoulder to shoulder. That's something that's super important, especially when it becomes man to man. That's how you get Evan open because he's underneath. He's supposed to be running shoulder to shoulder with Courtland, but love Troy's feel right here. You're going to see that there's a hole right there in the zone, and he finds that hole in the zone, and he catches it right here. That's the spacing that you love to see, and you love to see this triangle. That is a clear picture for the quarterback, and I also love the fact that these 2 receivers right here stopped at the ghost tight end, shows and lets Bo know that it is zone. Ball is delivered on time, on target. See, Troy catches this ball right here, and see where he ends up. So he's catching this ball right here. He ends up right here.
Wow.
That's an explosive play. You can win in the playoffs like that. You can win. You can beat teams like the Chiefs and the Bills when you have explosive plays like that. Those are the things that you love to see. Let's see what play we got right here.
I love that. That was 15 yards after the catch, too.
100%. Yeah, we talked about it on the post-game show. Troy has these flashes where he catches the ball, and it's just like you can see the talent and potential of the run after catchability of, one of these super dynamic playmakers, and he's very explosive. Right here you got Marvin coming in motion. I love that they're using the cheat motion now a lot more, especially with their faster guys. Marvin's going to come in motion. He's going to run a go route, and he's going to clear it out for Pat Bryant, and Evan's going to have the flat route. Pat Bryant, he just catches the ball smooth. He is going to be, you could see it in the next year or 2, he's going to be the go-to guy. I tweeted, Louis Riddick had his list of players after the second round who he thinks are going to be incredible players, and I tweeted at him during the game just what he saw. He talked about the physicality in Pat's routes, his playmaking ability, catching the ball, making contested catches. But when you just watch him play, he just catches the ball super smooth, and that's something that you love to see. So Marvin's clearing this out right here. Evans got this defender. Pat settles right here in the zone. Really well designed concept by Sean. Bo, I think, is an elite thrower on the run. Pat settles down in the hole right here and is able to make this catch. But he just, he makes a smooth breaking. I love little things like this that I pay attention to as a receiver is, are you breaking off the right foot? Breaking off the inside foot is how receivers fall. He's breaking off the right foot, the left foot, but the right foot in terms of the foot that he's supposed to break off of. and he makes this, and he runs this out route really well, catches the ball, looks to get upfield. I think we're going to continue to see him more. You saw him start the game. And I think you're going to continue to see him more. I think he is, you got to keep him and try to find ways to keep him on the field. You can't just use him out there for blocking. And obviously, he's an incredible blocker, and they were running towards his side in the run game yesterday. They were looking for where's Pat lined up left, right, or if he's going to come across the motion with the sift motion and he's cutting guys off, but he's a willing blocker. You got to find a way to get him out there and get more reps.
And that's how, as a receiver, you get more time, especially as you're young, especially with other weapons around you, as you block well. And he had an incredible quote after the game. He said he tells the running backs, if you want to bounce one to the outside, just find 13, and you know that you're going to have a good block from me.
He's a psycho. I mean, the fact that him as a receiver having that mindset is what you love to see.
And a rookie, too.
Yeah, feed that guy the ball. Love this play. This is the play that Troy Franklin scores on. So you have a reverse scissors here. Scissors is usually a concept where you're running a post, and then the guy on the inside is running the corner right here. Sean was in his bag yesterday in terms of play calling. He knew what defenses that he was going to get based off of the motion. They run the cheat motion again right here. You get Troy Franklin coming in motion, and you got Marvin on the corner route, and then you got Troy coming underneath. I mean, this is like 7-on-7. Look at this pocket right here. This is easy for Bo. Bo is throwing this ball right here. Troy is just now getting out of his break. You love to see that right there. I mean, he's wide open. I mean, that's what you love. Little things that I pay attention to on plays like this is football is the ultimate team game. And when you go back and you look at Troutman, landmarks, Atkins, landmarks, a couple yards outside the numbers, a couple yards inside the numbers. That gives the proper spacing and timing for this to be so wide open. Yeah, Troutman should get the ball right here as well, but your landmarks are super important for plays to be successful. And those guys doing their job and running hard is why plays like this or why Troy can be so wide open. Everybody has a job to do on every single play. And things like that is what stands out to me, especially when you have offenses that are super explosive in a Sean Payton offense where you have to have the timing and the spacing. Those are the little things that I look for. And I love this right here. T.O., how he used to celebrate against Dallas when he was playing with the 49ers. I thought that was incredible. We love to see that type of celebration. We talked about intermediate passing game last week. This isn't a super sexy play. Courtland getting his guy out of here. They got deep thirds right here, and Troy's coming on his over route. But little things like that, intermediate passing game is how you continue to have explosive and you stay ahead of the chains. Troy catches this ball right here on the sideline. Great hands catch. Concept, super simple, but you have to have these plays where it's 10 to 20 yards a throw, and Bo was on time and on target yesterday. Let's see what play we got here. Oh, this is something. This is the next step. This is what you want to see. Okay, Dallas, they're not a great defense, but these are the little things when you think about a Peyton Manning offense or Tom Brady, and you think about these screens, and Sean should stop calling screens. Well, this is a really well-designed screen right here. Look at, we're outnumbering the Cowboys right here.
Big time.
Troy should score on this play based off of what we're looking at right now. He should score. He should score. But Courtland's guy ends up making this tackle right here. These are the little things right here where people are like, oh, Sean should stop calling screens. No, he should not. These screens are well designed. We have the caravan right here that's supposed to lead. You see DT score on these 2-yard screens throughout his entire career. That's because they were well blocked. We have more than enough people right here to block and for Troy to score right here. These are the things that you have to fix to be a championship team. Details.
Come on, Court.
I just love Bo's placement of the ball yesterday. This right here, this is the end of the go route right here. But I thought Bo he's just getting better week after week. And when you think about the touchdown to Pat Bryant, you think about this throw right here to Court. He put the air under it. Let's not forget that this kid is in year 2.
Yeah.
And he watches the film, and he's a football junkie. He's going to continue to get better. So these are the little things that I noticed. Sean Payton was in his bag yesterday. Troy Franklin loved the deep return route. So you have Pat sitting over the ball right here. Courtland has an in route, and then Troy has a deep return. But look, Troy's right here, eyes looking in right here. Get the defender to sell or to think that he's running the in route. And then, oops, gotcha. Get him right there. That's what you love to see. Easy throw and catch for Bo. We love touchdowns.
Yes, he was so open, and I didn't see that one on film, so I love that you brought it up.
That's Troy Franklin right there. That's what he can be, but you need to see that all the time. But that's elite route running right there. To have this much separation on an NFL play, future's exciting.
And that's a route that you can really only run down there if you know you can block it.
Yeah.
It took a while.
You got to block it, and he's the last person in the progression. So you got to be able to block it, and then Bo has to sit there in the pocket and be able to deliver that throw.
How many word plays, Benny? Got a couple?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me quickly give a shout out to our friends over at Coors Light, where the Broncos, they deserve to chill after that game last night. The defense looked great, the offense looked great, and the best way to chill is with a Coors Light and a cold Coors Light, because Coors Light is all about chilled. It's brewed chilled, it's bottled chilled, it's served chilled, even so much so that they designed the cans and bottles to be chilled when it is the perfect temperature to drink, because the mountains on the cans and bottles turn blue when it is the perfect temperature to drink. And we're talking about 68-degree day, 67 degree day today. That's a great time to chill if you want to chill with the Coors Light after work this weekend. When you're watching Monday Night Football, when you're watching the Broncos this coming weekend, turn to our friends over at Coors Light, and you can have Coors Light delivered straight to your door by going to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Go to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Make the most of the times you choose to chill. Get Coors Light delivered to your door. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer.
Also, like I said, it is always sunny on Victory Monday in Denver, Colorado, and that means you better have your Shady Rays, because there's going to be a lot more Victory Mondays coming up. Shady Rays are awesome. They are rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. And here's the thing. We all lose stuff. Maybe you lost your belt at the game yesterday because you took it off and you were,
Found a Cowboy fan.
making demonstrations. Or you were the Cowboys. You lost your defense before the season even started. Well, you can't get those replaced. But if you have Shady Rays, you can get those things replaced. They don't even ask questions. They don't know if it was lost, stolen, broken. You just say, hey, guys, I need a new pair. And they say, we got you. So shout out to our friends over at Shady Rays. Go to shadyrays.com and use the code DNVR for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try the shades. Rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
And shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365. And shout out to Benny. Let's jump back into the inside.
I'm going to finish this up real quick. I'm sorry I went so long.
No, we started.
Really exciting, but I just want to talk about ball placement right there. The Pat Bryant touchdown, elite ball placement by Bo. And then, come on. What are we really talking about? Mile high salute. I had to put that on film. So that's the rest of the inside scoop right there. Broncos played really well. Love what I saw from the young guys. This is what it could be. And I think in 2 years, you'll see offensive performances like this every week.
Oh, man, I love hearing that, Benny. And that is, Pat Bryant just gets it. As a football player, as a Denver Bronco, he gets it on field, off the field. He's willing to block. He's also a great receiver. We haven't seen that as much yet just because he's focused on other things, but we saw it with that catch. That was a perfect throw by Bo. It was also a perfect catch, fingertip grab, exactly what has to be done, and then hits him with the mile-high salute. I absolutely love that from Pat.
The fact that he went mile-high salute for his first career touchdown, not just any touchdown, but his first career touchdown, means that he knows ball. He knows Bell.
He does know
Pat
Bell.
Bryant.
Yeah.
You know Bell.
Awesome breakdown, Benny. I look forward to those every single week. Okay, guys. Benny, before you get out of here, I need to trade deadline. 8 days away.
Yeah.
After seeing what we saw yesterday, do the Broncos need to make a move?
Yeah, I think the Broncos, I don't know which move that I would necessarily lean on, but I'm definitely leaning on a receiver or tight end, somebody to complement Evan more in the pass game, or, the only receiver that I would actually trade for that I think is worth it is Waddle out there, but I don't think you need to send the house for him. And the reason why I say that is for the exact reason of what happened yesterday after the game and the news that we get. The Broncos receivers, I think, are playing really well, but you're one injury away from, you can't change that after the trade deadline. So you're not trading for right now. You're trading for January. Okay? So let's not look at the receiver room right now, and let's not play off a potential. If you are a Super Bowl contender, which let me read off. So the last couple winners: Eagles, Chiefs twice, Rams. I think they all made trades at the deadline. Correct? I think the Broncos need to make a trade. I think the Chiefs have traded for receivers. I forgot who the Eagles traded for last year, but I think they traded for a receiver too. The kid from Washington who ended up scoring in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And the Rams added Odell Beckham and Von Miller. So if you are trying to win a Super Bowl, you're trading for this year. You're not trading for the future. You're trading for this year. So I think they need to add somebody. Pat being out a couple weeks, do you add some corner depth? You're looking for rentals right now. You're not looking for long-term plays, okay? But you got to be a buyer in this market right now. And you're not looking at what just happened against the Cowboys. You're looking at who are you getting ready to play in these tough games? The Baltimores, the Bills, the Chiefs. You got to be able to go blow for blow with them. And you need an explosive playmaker that can complement Courtland and also help these younger guys. So that's what I'm going for.
Man, Waddle, that gets me excited, the thought of that. But Benny, you have to balance. You said you're not willing to give up everything for him, but it's also, I mean, the Rams went all in on a rental for Von Miller, and they knew that he was going to be a rental. They give up a second and a third round pick, which turns out to be Nik Bonitto is who the Broncos got in return for one of those.
It depends
picks.
on if you want a Lombardi or not.
So then, how much would you be willing to, if you're George Payton, go all in on one of these moves? Let's say it is a Jalen Waddle.
I'm not. If I'm George Payton, I am not going all in.
Okay.
Because we got a lot of cap space to work with next year and different things like that. With the Rams, when I think about the Rams or the Eagles or Patrick Mahomes, they're in their championship window. You had to do it. You traded for Matthew Stafford. You got to make it work now. Broncos, you got 3 years in terms of Bo's contract, but it depends on how bad Sean really wants this championship. And if it is open right now, the AFC is as open as it's ever been. So depends on the Broncos and how they think. If I'm George, I'm not doing it. But if you're thinking Super Bowl contender right now, and hey, we can win it this year, you got to make a move.
Oh man, that dynamic the next 8 days of Sean saying, "Give me everyone I need to make this run."
Sean will go for it.
100%.
He'll ruin this roster right now in cap space to win a championship right now.
We have about 2 decades of experience knowing that he's willing to go all in every single year.
If you succeed, that's all that matters.
Oh, 100%. But that's going to be the interesting dynamic over these next 8 weeks, especially with the receiver room, because what we saw from them yesterday, they don't need a receiver if the receivers are going to step up and play the way they did. But man, you throw out a Jalen Waddle potentially in that. We saw what Jalen Waddle did yesterday.
That's
he
a
had
lot
a
of
massive
zone
touchdown.
Yeah, and that was a lot of zone yesterday that the Broncos did well against, which I'm all for. You play man to man in the playoffs, though.
Yeah.
You got to create separation against man.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep. And Jalen Waddle can do that.
A lot of guys that are available can.
I love getting your thoughts on that, Benny. We're going to dive into it more, but any thoughts that you guys have really quick, because we're going to dive into it all tomorrow.
We'll save it for tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Again,
that.
like I said, there are all these different spots that people point to: receiver, tight end, running back, left guard, and all of those guys just played their best game of the season yesterday. And that's why you got to figure out, okay, you've seen all their best. Which one will you bump down? Will you bump Troy down to wide receiver 3? Bump Pat down, And that's a tough decision to make.
We're going to see how the game plan works this week without Mims, though. Then we'll know.
And also,
Potentially.
guys, this week
You don't think,
couldn't.
you think he'll play?
Well, I'm saying it's possible that he could.
It is possible. And this game coming up couldn't be more opposite of the game we just saw yesterday. The Houston Texans are struggling on offense. Their line is terrible. The Broncos should be able to get after CJ Stroud. But on the flip side, the Broncos offense does not get to go up against a terrible defense. The Texans defense is legit, and they're coming off a big win yesterday. They're they're clawing and scratching. Is that right? They're
Scratching and clawing.
They're scratching and clawing. Thank you. To
Kicking and screaming, as
keep
John
their
Elway would
season-
say.
Exactly, to keep their season alive. So I'm looking forward to diving in to this game. And the Broncos do have one more game before they officially have to decide if they want to make a trade. But before we get out of here, we have a lot of super chats that we want to get to. Hit us with the thumbs up. We really appreciate everyone tuning in here, and especially for the people that are throwing some super chats our way, including a big time one one.
Before we get to those, I just want to make a quick announcement. Starting something cool today with my guy Keith Talib on No Lie Zone. Instead of mailbag, we want to do voicemails. So I want you guys to call in. The number is 800-201-1818. 800-201-1818. Leave your voicemail for Akib and I. And if you got a Broncos question, that's cool. But I would love for it to be like, I want people to ask Akib for life advice. Like hit Akib with like your relationship questions. Hit Akib with like your whatever. Your life dilemmas. You're trying to decide between
career decisions.
Career decisions. Yes. I mean, I just feel like it'll be elite content if we get Akib speaking on those things. So 800-201-1818. Leave your voicemails for me and Akib tonight.
I love that. I love that. And I love this super chat coming from our friend John Lair. It's good enough to get a gold surrounding it because it's a big one. Thank you, John. This is awesome. He says, morning, fellas. My wife brought me some Broncos socks right before the Bengals game. I've slept in them the night before each game, and we haven't lost since. This is the real reason we are on this win streak. No other reason. Go DNVR and go Broncos. John, just tell me you've washed them in between.
Just sleeping in socks is so unhinged.
I love it.
So unhinged.
I love it. It just feels so comfortable.
I think people who sleep in socks are nuts.
Really? Well,
Psychos.
maybe it adds up, but boy, does it feel good. Also, don't announce this on the internet because now you know the Texans are going to be sending somebody after you. They're going to be trying to find those
take
socks,
your
burn
socks?
those socks. Yeah, protect those things.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Jay chimes in and says, let's go Broncos. We're traveling to the Houston game, then the Raiders Thursday night game. Zach, what is the Italian place you like? Was it DeFranco's? Is it still good? Is it still good with new owners? Let's win out till the bye. I'm not sure. I love Olivia, if that's the Italian
never
restaurant
been
you're
there.
thinking about. Love Olivia.
I don't think I've ever heard you talk about that on the show.
Yeah, don't think they have new owners though. So
Carmine's?
yeah,
That's kind of by your house, isn't it?
yeah, it is. Yeah, Carmine's on Penn.
Yep. I really like Gaetano's. That's all the way on the other side of town, though. So I don't know what the new owner.
Those
talk
options are kind of all over the place. So Jay, look them up.
Angelo's on 6th.
Yeah, it's a good one. So shout out Jay. Welcome to Denver next week. Broncos only, or no, we got Rusty Cleveland who says any shot Walmart funds Vance's new contract and makes him the highest paid defensive coordinator, near head coach money just to keep him on the Broncos. I think if Vance gets offered a head coaching job, you take it. It's so rare to get two opportunities, so I think the Broncos would be willing to match the money, but I think if you're Vance, you take that job.
Yeah, I mean, any chance? Yes, the Broncos can do whatever they want when it comes to paying coaches.
They did that many times this offseason to not lose Davis Webb, to not lose Jim Leonard, to not lose a lot of guys.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Vance, I would love to just get paid head coach money to be in Denver and be a defensive coordinator. But I know these guys are very prideful and they want to prove that, their one stint as head coach was a fluke.
And I
Don't do it,
bet
Vance.
he's already one of the highest paid defensive coordinators.
Is he?
Probably.
I would guess.
Don't do what?
Don't go be another head coach.
Wow. Wow. He would, though, don't you think? You think he would say?
It'd have to be. You would have to have what you know now about being a head coach,
Got to have a quarterback,
and then you have to have the ownership and infrastructure. Like,
Yeah.
you're so. I don't want to say this in a bad way, but Vance is so spoiled now of like what it really looks like to have an incredible owner who's super involved. If it doesn't match this, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, you're gonna get fired in a year or two anyway.
I'm probably not going to match this
Also, like,
anywhere else.
everyone loves him now.
Right?
Like, he knows what it felt like when he was a head coach and,
You gotta make all the decisions.
yeah, I'm sure he's thinking twice before he's going out to dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys are crazy, though. I think he would take an opportunity to be a head coach.
I didn't say he wouldn't.
Yeah, I know. Really quick, we're going to hit the rest of these super chats in overtime. Go to thednvr.com to watch the rest of the show in overtime. And now we've got Broncos only chiming in who says, what a great win yesterday. I topped it off with my second ever visit to the DNVR bar and had a chance to meet RK. The food was awesome. Long live DNVR.
Great to meet you, bro. And the food really is awesome at the DNVR bar right now. Like, I'm not lying when I tell you it's by far the best it's ever been. We've had the bar since 2020. The food, the menu, everything right now is way better than it's ever been.
Someone comes in one time from out of town. They get one meal. What are you recommending?
Chicken Caesar wrap, side of buffalo.
There we go. I love it.
I actually was talking to someone at the Buffs game the other day. During the Buffs game, they were like, I heard you talking about that on the show while I was driving home. I was like near DNVR. I just said, screw it. Stopped, got the Chicken Caesar wrap, lived up to the hype.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Pure Lapine in all caps says, Henry, we are going. You predict a 2-score loss every week, you big non-believer.
You know, it just... People just have these unrealistic expectations. You know, I go out there and say the Colts are going to win this division, and everybody says like, "Oh, you're crazy, you're crazy," and then they do this, and everybody thinks that I can just see the future now.
Yeah.
But what they don't understand is that I'm not actually like a fortune teller. I have a podcast. I'm a reporter. Like I don't actually see the future, but people just expect that from me because I'm right so often. You know,
I think this comment saying you're wrong about the Broncos.
Oh, exactly. And that's what happens.
Just this once.
See, that's what happens.
He said every week. The commenter.
No, they're saying he needs to going forward pick the Broncos to lose by double digits.
Exactly. But people just expect me to be right, and so they react like this when I'm the rare occasions I'm wrong.
Crispy says,
Good spin.
Hey guys, go Broncos. Last 2 times I saw a Denver team here in Houston, Nuggets and the Broncos, they won the championship that year. I'll be at the game Sunday. May the streak continue.
Why couldn't you have come to the CU Houston game, bro?
And Diego rounds us out by saying, it seems like there are a lot of selfless guys on this team. Benny, do you think that is an underrated quality of a Super Bowl team?
Yeah, I think you got to be super selfless, and I think you got to really put the team first. And championship teams have that DNA, and I think you can see that. I think these guys are very tight knit. I think they're very close. And it's exciting to see. Let's see if they celebrate Halloween, if they have a Halloween party. That'll be my next step that I'm paying attention to. If they're partying together, they better have a Halloween party this weekend.
I don't know if the Broncos leadership likes Halloween parties in Denver anymore.
Were you at the Chad Kelly one?
No, I had gone. But the first 3 that we had were great.
Yeah.
That's when people started getting too much money. You got super rich, and then you started adding a whole bunch of people from the outside. No, you just got this only Broncos.
Only Broncos.
This isn't Broncos and rappers. It's just Broncos.
It's not Broncos, and let's bring the Nuggets and the Avalanche. No, Denver Broncos only.
Yes.
If there's a Halloween party, it'd probably be tonight. With the off day tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
can't be
Wait, what about
Thursday.
next Tuesday?
it's after Halloween.
Yeah,
You would
November
do it-
3rd.
You would do it before Halloween.
I never get out parties.
Yeah,
with
it should be tonight.
Yeah, it would be
because it's the
tonight.
only day you can really, get after it.
Benny, make some calls.
Please, we can.
Are you hosting?
Get us in, Benny.
No, we can't.
We're gonna have it at the DNVR bar.
We cannot wake up to Chad Kelly news. No Toy Story.
Chad Kelly's not here.
You know what I mean, though. You know what I mean.
Nobody's going to put no one's going to put the team in jeopardy right now. You're 6-2. Their Halloween party won't be too crazy. It shouldn't be.
Good. Yep. And that's going to do it for us today. Shout out to everyone that tuned in. Shout out to everyone that dropped a super chat. Shout out to everyone that dropped a like and a thumbs up. We appreciate it. Shout out to Benny for the inside scoop. Love the inside look at the Broncos. And we'll be back tomorrow, noon, where we are going to be breaking down what trades the Broncos should make in a week from now because the trade deadline just a week away. That's going to do it for us. We will see you tomorrow on the DNVR Broncos podcast.
God bless Bo Nix.
We all silly like the mayor.